So in this video, we're going to solve equations by factoring. And we only have 4 examples to do, so it should not take too terribly long. So in order to solve an equation by factoring, the first thing you need to do is set the equation equal to 0. So in number 1, notice that the equation is set to 0. So now what we have to do is factor the trinomial. So when we factor y squared minus 13y minus 30, we get the two binomials of y minus 15 and y plus 2. Those are our two binomial factors. Now, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. So y minus 15 equals 0, y plus 2 equals 0. I'm going to show you a quicker way to handle this in the next example. So y equals to 15 and y equals to negative 2. Now, make sure that you plug those answers in to validate that 15 and negative 2 are correct, to make sure that they balance the left side and make it equal to 0. In the second example, we need to subtract 80 in order to set our problem equal to 0. So we're going to take 2x squared plus 6x minus 80 equals to 0. Now, I'm going to do a skill that some of you know and that have probably forgot and didn't think about. Since all of the numbers in the problem are divisible by 2, I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. So that would give me x squared plus 3x minus 40 equals to 0. Then I factor the quadratic. The two binomial factors are x plus 8 and x minus 5. And then I'm going to set both of those factors equal to 0, which means I get x equals to negative 8 here. I pull that positive 8 out as the opposite, because if I plug negative 8 back in, that's negative 8 plus 8, which equals to 0. And here I get x equals to positive 5. So my two answers are negative 8 and positive 5. Make sure that you plug those in and validate that they are the correct answers, that they make the left side equal to 80 in the original problem. In the third example, I need to set the problem equal to 0. So 4w squared plus 10w equals to 0. Now I'm going to reduce this problem only by the number 2. So this gives me 2w squared plus 5w equals to 0. Do not reduce by a variable, only reduce the coefficients if necessary. So now I'm going to take out the greatest common factor of w, and that leaves me with 2w plus 5 equals to 0. I end up with w equals to 0 for my greatest common factor, and then I get w equals to negative 5 over 2 when I solve 2y or 2w plus 5 equals to 0. Those are my two answers for w. When I plug them back in, they will make the left and the right sides balance. The last problem, I need to set equal to 0, and what you always want to do, I know it would be easier to move the 5p squared to the other side, to the right side, but that makes it negative. You always want to try to factor with a positive leading coefficient on that squared term. So I'm actually going to move the 4 and the p to the left. So I end up with 5p squared minus p minus 4 equals to 0. Now notice when I did that, I also put them in order, descending order from p squared to p to constant term, so that I can factor that trinomial. So when I factor this trinomial, the two factors that I get are 5p plus 4 and p minus 1. Now I'm going to set both of those factors equal to 0. So here I get p equals to negative 4/5 and p equals to positive 1. When I plug both of those back in to check my answer, they both work. So I end up with two solutions for this problem. So I hope that helps you review your solve by factoring skills. If you have any questions, please let me know.